Good morning, Mr. Devdutt Kadrekar, and thank you so much for being here today and taking out time from your busy schedule to come be a part of Brag Free, an initiative by the Badge Free team. I, Navreet, on behalf of Badge Free, welcome you to yet another episode of Brag Free, a vlog initiative to get industry experts to share their experiences and with our audience. Before I move forward, I would like to walk you through the company and the initiative of Brag Free. Badge Free, as you know, is a talent market exchange. We are on a journey to craft India's foremost and distinctive human equity investment marketplace, a platform that caters to yearning needs of talent for and at work, beyond learning and earning. We believe that every leader of talent has a unique story to share of his experience and career. We encapsulate these lessons in our series called Brag Free Dialogue with the hope and belief that it will encourage the next generation of leaders to unleash themselves to newer heights. On Brag Free Dialogue, we invite special executive talents for an online video session to share how they started and challenges they've overcome, their moments of truth, and much more. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for being here. I am thrilled to have this opportunity to learn more from your experience, skills, and perspective in the various role fields which you excel in. For the viewers of this episode, I would be giving a brief introduction about our guest, which I shall be keeping very brief because I would want to know from the expert himself about his journey and let him set the tone for the discussion. Mr. Devdutt Kadrekar is a founder and CEO of Humane HR Consulting Services. He has been an HR professional for 30 years, specializing in organization development, talent acquisition, and talent management, consulting, HR outsourcing, and much more. He has worked with brands like Tata and Mahindra and with other big Indian brands. Along with that, he also has international experience of working in Africa, South Africa, and East Southwest Asia, and much more. And now over to you, sir. The floor is now open to you to set the tone for today's meeting and let us, the audience, know about you and your journey.
Thank you, Navreet and Team Bragfree. It's really my honor to be a part of this discussion, and I also look forward to learn through this discussion, sharing with you. So, just to briefly introduce myself, just to add to a few points which Navreet has shared. Uh, my focus currently is into talent acquisition and talent management, especially those companies who are into HR transformation phase. And that's where I would leverage my experience of working with Tata's, Mahindra, Siemens, and Lloyd's Register and KLG Automotives to leverage how I can help these companies who are mostly MSME companies to grow fast using these strategies. So this is where I am right now at this juncture of my professional journey.
Right. Thank you so much. We will start the discussion for today. So I would begin by asking, can you discuss your experience in designing and executive talent acquisition strategies that support organization growth and helps it expand to new regions and markets? So, like, what would you help in designing these companies with?
Okay, so I had this fortune and opportunity to work in multiple countries, including India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, South Africa. Uh, Major areas which I think I can share is about South Africa, where we wanted, when I was working with KLT Automotives, we wanted to launch greenfield projects in South Africa, as well as uh, ramping up the production in South Africa. So this was a new experience for me, and I had no idea about what the local labor laws mean and all. So it was an opportunity for me to learn the local labor laws, understand how I can leverage it. And just as we have reservations with us in India, they also have encouragement for Black empowerment. They call it as a broad-based Black economic empowerment policy. So that is where I can focus my example about South Africa, where we launched two greenfield projects as well as two uh, running projects expansion. And uh, right from going through the selection process, it was a different experience for me because the way kind of a questions and selection process which we have in India is totally different in what we have in South Africa. And same goes with my experience while looking for selection process in Lloyd's register, where I would be part of the senior management selection process, and the way the kind of questions which we would ask in the interview process also was a totally different experience.
Right.
So it was a very learning experience for me also, and it helped me to also work on the edges of certain processes which I felt that okay, I can further improve on. So as far as new market expansion strategy, as far as South Africa was concerned, it was very clear that uh, we would want to have maximum Indians coming in South Africa. So for the simple reason that the talent availability in India as well as the cost of talent was much more reasonable than what it was available in South Africa. So we would naturally want to have uh, these talents, Indian talents coming to South Africa. So we had a clear-cut benchmark strategy of identifying the engineering colleges where we would go for graduate engineers, the local lateral hire market, where which are the companies which we would pitch for, and that really helped me to actually ramp up quickly because our end customer was Ford, and they wanted to quickly uh, start the production. And
Right.
this helped me to actually work out the modalities of ramping up the hiring process as well as ensuring that the right quality of manpower is there on board.
Right.
So, in addition to this, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I was like, I'll let you speak.
Yeah. In addition to this, I was also part of the global management training scheme at Lloyd's Register, where we had management trainees which would cater to global exposure. So not just India, we would have management trainees which would also work in multiple countries as part of the training, so that we train them for a global exposure. So
Right.
that was also a very interesting thing where our Indians could be given an opportunity to work abroad in multiple locations, get the technical insights which these developed countries have, and then work back in India and implement them.
Right. Moving on, my second question would be like, what were the strategies that you implemented? Like you said, like there was so much like, global exposure you wanted to give. So what were like the how would you align like the talent acquisitions with the overall business goal objectives from like what you had learned from the previous organizations in this? And like if also you could just give a specific example to like make it more easier for the audience to understand the strategies that you used.
Okay. So the most important part is how do I align my talent acquisition strategies to the growth plans of the company? So I can share one specific example of a client of mine. They are into manufacturing of electrostatic precipitators and packing and bagging machines. They are not a big name in the market, but they have been in this market for more than uh, 15, 20 years. And the company carved out from the parent company and they wanted to make their own impact in the market. So the first challenge which was there for us was that how do I attract the right talent from from a well-known company so that we can drive the kind of a growth which we envisage for this company. So mind you, when I started working with them as an HR consultant, the company's turnover was around 11 crores, and they had envisaged that in the next 4 5 years time we should cross 100 crores, and that is what we work for. So when we work on a talent acquisition space, what is the talent inquiring about when they are exploring companies to join? They are not just interested in the brand name or a bigger brand and salary. They are also interested to know that what are these companies offering me to hone my skills, to hone uh, my my behavioral competencies, to hone my results which I can bring to the table. So that's how I could, as a talent acquisition specialist, I could bring uh, senior level talents from expert companies like Thermax, like Isek and all. So the main spiel in this conversation was that here is a company which is growing very fast, and if you join this company, this would be a golden opportunity for you to be a part of this growth trajectory which is expanding very fast. And the same kind of a growth trajectory you will not get in your current company, which is a big multinational. They have their own set of seniors already sitting at the top, and by the time you reach there, it would be a evening for you. So that's where we were able to attract the right talent, ensure that these positions are filled with the right people. When I say right people, means the right behavioral competencies, right experience, the right attitude, and we were able to quickly ramp up the structure. And soon, within 4 years' time, it really gave us results. And within 4 years, from 11 crores, we crossed 100 crores in this company. So I think this is something which I proudly share that I can bring to the table, where if the company has honest intentions to really grow big, we are here to support through our own skill sets and help you reach that dream figure.
Right. So now I come to my next question is can you describe your experience in managing like talent team on like an international scale, or like what were the challenges that you encountered managing the talent or team across like different country or like a different region than what you had earlier worked before with.
Yes, so I had this opportunity of being on the panel of HR senior leadership acquisition team. So as far as selection process goes, uh, I was exposed to the Hogan psychometry assessment. I was also exposed to the Kaizen kind of an interview technique where we use that specifically for senior leadership hiring. And each country has its own cultural differences in the way we process the hiring segment. And that is where I feel that when I worked in countries like hiring processes for senior leadership countries like uh, Kuala Lumpur, or we had for Dubai, or we had for South Africa. These nuances of cultural differences really played an important role. So once these guys, I already spoke about the way uh, we took uh, we took the local compliance in mind when we hire. Once these guys come on board, talent management plays a very important role. So I can share one experience of mine when I was working with Siemens. Uh, the definition of talent is very critical for us. Often it is the definition of talent is mixed with personal preferences rather than professionally identifying the talent. So in Siemens, we had a very scientific way of defining the behavioral competencies applicable for leadership positions and identifying the high potential employees, giving them a fast track growth trajectory, and ensuring that they are being given a proper sort of a positions which will leverage their true potential. Often in such cases, when we are managing at a senior leadership level, one challenge which comes is that when we are dealing with the business heads, they have their own personal preferences and likes and dislikes. So as an HR professional, we need to help them deal with their own likes and dislikes in a professional way. So, for example, if we are speaking about a growth position for a critical position in a multinational organization, and if I ask the business heads that what would be your preferred choice as far as candidates go, as far as internal talents are concerned, he would obviously have his own set of names ready on his tip of his tongue. We as an HR professionals need to actually define what kind of a behavioral competencies and manifestations the particular position requires. And if we ask these questions to the concerned people and then check, have a sort of a litmus test with these talents, that do they have these kind of a behavioral competencies already? Have they manifested these behavioral competencies in their current role? If yes, then obviously we have a ready-made case for succession plan or hiring. If not, then we need to be a bit patient in looking for more talent and hiring. So talent management, first of all, identifying the right talent, identifying which are the critical positions for which the right talents need to be identified. Third thing is ensuring that when we deal with the various sourcing outlets available with us, including internal resources, we need to ensure that the proper definition of talent is not just defined but communicated to all the stakeholders and potential hiring resources. And that's where we keep the market open for competition, and not just limited to uh, the four walls of the top management.
Right. So next question would be, how do you stay informed about, like, even now, how do you stay informed about the global talent trends or like market dynamics, and like how do you use that information in talent acquisition strategies? How do you keep yourself updated with all of those information?
So there are various magazines and also various WhatsApp group which are associated with talent management. So I that is the first choice which I have. Also, being in this industry for more than 30 years and work with various multinational companies and geographies, I do have my own set of network of HR professionals who are specializing into talent acquisition, and that helps me to stay tuned into what are the new trends happening around, how are companies dealing with not just talent acquisition but also talent management, especially when the company is going through a turbulence.
Right. So, with your international experience, how do you now ensure that the practices that you've learned abroad align with your local laws and regulations, while also like maintaining that global consistency that you have learned? So now that you have your own talent management company, how do you like ensure that you mix and match both of them together?
Okay, so one thing is that as I shared with you, the triple B double E kind of a norms which are still there in South Africa. Similar norms are there for various countries. Say, for example, in India, though there is reservations are not applicable in a private setup, but still there would be various laws which are sort of prevailing on you in terms of giving preferences for the local hires and local talent. So, first preference mine would be that try to look for local talent available wherever possible. As we grow higher up in the talent ladder, um, we then look out uh, for a incumbent who has multicultural exposure, not just for within a state, but also between different countries. Especially if it is a leadership position which is taking care of cluster of countries for that organization. So that's as far as local laws and regulations are concerned. Cultural norms. We often encourage in these companies to have job rotations done, have these talent management positions being offered for resources outside India. I can give one example of my client. Uh, Carbon Check is one company. These are one client. They are into examination and certification of clean energy. So we work closely with them, and their potential market is South Africa. But South Africa doesn't have the right industries where the talent can be grown. So now uh, we have moved talent from African countries to India. We train them over in India, uh, especially in the communication skills, especially in the technical expertise which we Indians are well versed with, and then again send them back to Africa. And that has really changed the game in which we can get the revenue of local African countries from the local talent without requiring us to send or fly down talent from India, which is a costly affair also.
Right. Um, so now that you are an expert in, talent acquisition and talent management, there's this new thing called moonlighting. So, how do you identify an employee engaging in moonlighting, or like, what are the steps that you know, take once that person come to know somebody in your company is moonlighting, or like, how do you like to respect their, you know, privacy as well, but also like encounter such situations?
Yeah. So first of all, moonlighting, though nowadays, I mean, of late it has come up to fore, but this has not been a recent phenomenon. Employees have been moonlighting in the past also. I can share one experience of mine when I was working with Tata Motors. Though I was working in industrial relations team and not in in talent acquisition team that time. This was way back in 95 to 2000. Tata's being Tata's, they had this very uh, fair and a very relaxed approach towards talent management and talent discipline. So when I joined them, I observed that there are lots of employees having unauthorized absenteeism. So when I say unauthorized absenteeism means these are the employees, permanent employees, and they have exhausted their annual leave, they have exhausted their sick leave, casual leave, their public holidays, weekly offs, everything they have exhausted, and then still they had a leave, unauthorized leave of more than 100 days in a year. So that was really surprising that if a company like Tata's is not able to motivate employees to come on duty, what is the reason? So I went further deeper into it, and then I found two reasons for it. One is they have uh, they have started their own what you call it, different businesses in their local cities or hometowns, and they would prefer to come only for those many days till it is required to come to, to keep their job. So
Right.
this is really a surprising thing that on one hand, because these guys are not coming on duty, we have to hire a temporary resources, spend more on it, go ask people to go on overtime, and these employees do not have the remorse for it. That's what I suspected. So what as a strategy, instead of going for a traditional discipline action way, we decided that why not we approach them in a more humane way. So those employees who were having a good businesses, I personally went across to almost more than a score of employees and explained to them that look, you have been working with Tata's for many years, and uh, the company has given you bread butter, and you have been doing really exceedingly well in your businesses. So why don't you give this opportunity for somebody else to be in your position rather than occupying that position? And this really helped me because the employees also felt indebted to Tata Group, and they said that, sir, what you're saying is right. I agree. I will resign and let other person join, and please don't initiate any disciplinary action against us. And which we agreed that okay, fair enough. We are not here to malign your name by initiating disciplinary action, but if you uh, if you are open to parting ways in a smoother way. We are also here to support your decision, give you the proper certificate and full and final settlement. And that really helped us to solve lots of disciplinary action cases which were accruing because of unauthorized absenteeism. And mind you, that the company has a big union, uh, more than
Hmm.
42 unions that time. So going to an employee's place, asking for his confirmation to separate ways, in short, asking him to resign is not a small thing, because
Hmm.
if he or she complains to the union that here is an HR officer who comes to you and is asking for my resignation, I had it. But we could actually play the a logical and rational card. We could work on their respect for the Tata Group, and we could mutually part ways without disrespecting them or without spoiling their career. Obviously, there were other sector of employees who were into another absent because of other various vices, which we had no other option but to take the discipline action route. But majority of the cases were of these moonlighting were identified and settled through a humane approach of striking the right balance of thinking and logic with the concerned employee. So that was, I think, I can share my very first-hand experience about it.
But do you also feel that moonlighting does have a negative impact on the performance of somebody in an organization?
Yes, the kind see nowadays the performance pressure is also there in most of the organizations. And if the employee is working for certain hours for one company and then certain hours for any other company, or during, especially when you are working from home, there are chances that you may fall prey to these temptations of working for multiple organizations. We have seen that in cases where a guy has joined multiple organizations and taking salaries, and suddenly it came to fore and we had to take action. So these things are definitely happening. But a positive side which I'm seeing over here is the kind of a gig economy which is opening up. So
Right.
nowadays, the organizations are also open for fixed term contracts. They are also open for working in certain days in a week, not full days. So it saves on the cost, and the employee also get a chance to work only for limited days in a week. I think that is opening up possibilities for all, especially the women employees who are about to start their second career after the maternity break and all. This is, I think, a great opportunity for the talent to restart their career, if not in a full-time way, maybe a couple of days in a week. I think that is what is really working well. Also, some organizations are opening up to employees taking up to hobbies like teaching, like visiting management colleges and all, and they can teach and earn. So in such cases, the organization finds it's a win-win way where our employees get to teach. The brand name of the organization also improves, that such and such organization is coming, organization manager is coming to teach us. Plus, they when a person teaches in important places, that automatically also hones the skills of that concerned person. So in
Right.
a way, staying updated with the recent trends and law and knowledge about that subject also helps them, their employees, to stay uh, tuned into the latest of what's happening, and what they teach can also be implemented in the organization. So that is another perspective which I operate. I'm seeing organization opening up for employees to dabble into their hobbies and move forward.
Thank you so much. I think that was the last question. Thank you so much for taking our time, and sharing your experience and expertise with us today. Your insights have truly been enlightening, and I hope everybody in the audience also enjoys watching it. Before I close, can you give me like three takeaways or special message for our audience that will want to watch this video?
Okay, so one, I think India is at the right stage of growth, and this is where I would invite the audience to stay tuned in, stay focused, and plan your growth trajectory, especially with new investments coming on board. There are lots of opportunities coming to India, and that is where they can encash on. Second thing is, as one focuses on his or her career, one needs to also focus on our own deliverables or accountability towards our nation. So, what is it that an employee, no matter how senior or junior he is, what can he or she do towards the betterment of nation? Be it teaching, be it grooming, be it coaching, be it mentoring. So these professionals, all the professionals, I invite these avenues where when you start working on grooming others, you also work on your own safe of bettering ourselves. So that is the second part. And third thing is, as far as these, what do you call it, incentives of moonlighting and all is concerned, we need to keep in mind that we are also accountable for the company which has hired us. So yes, our own preferences and personal priorities are important, but not at the cost of the interests of the company. And that is where we Indians are very strong in our value system. And I urge all of us to respect that value system and stay strong and grow together.
Right. Thank you so much once again for your time and valuable input. We wish you all best of luck for your career
Thank
endeavors
you.
and all that you're doing. And we hope to connect with you soon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Have a
Navreet and
great day.
Team Practice. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you.